welcome to Creative Conversations. We at Summer of the Arts are doing these here and there, try to do them every year. But we've got Kellee Forkenbrock with us today, who is a librarian and an author, and also Vice President of the Board of City of Literature.
Yes.
And contributor to Little Village and Black Iowa and so many other things. So welcome and thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to chat with me, to chat as part of Creative Conversations.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me, Andrea. I am excited to be here to talk about books, writing, all of the things. So excited to share with your audience.
Awesome. So I wanted to ask you about the relationship between being an author and then also being a librarian. But how do you want to proceed? Do we want to talk about your writing first? Because I think this is fascinating and spicy, and also you're wearing fabulous red and pink, and we're getting ready for February.
Yes.
So would you talk about your fiction writing?
Yes.
As Eliza David.
Yes. So I started fiction writing as a lot of writers start with a writing challenge. I started with a writing challenge. This was in 2014. And I've always been a lover of books. I've always been a lover specifically of novels. And I'd always thought to myself about that Toni Morrison quote. Toni Morrison is my favorite writer of all time. And her quote, I'm sure I'm paraphrasing her a bit, is, if you don't see a book you want, write it. And that is exactly what I did. I came up with the name Eliza David. It is the combination of my two teenagers' middle names, Eliza and David. And I just started writing because I felt like I had a story to tell. As an African-American woman, at that time, there was just the influx of Black romance still burgeoning, coming out, and I wanted to be a part of that. And I started to connect with other Black writers, especially those who are writing romance and erotica, and that's where my first book came from. It's called The Cougarette, and that is the story of a woman who's in her 40s who begins a relationship with an artist in his 20s. So it's pretty spicy, but moreover, it's really about a second act. It's about this woman going after her second act. At the time that I wrote this book, I was in my mid-30s, and I was thinking about what my 40s would look like. And that's where I created this character, Cece Banks. And from that book, I created 4 or 5 more books of that series, along with some other novels and anthologies. I participated in about half a dozen anthologies, doing some blog writing, just really immersing myself in romance. And then in 2020, when the world shut down, I found that my creative mojo to write romance kind of shut down too. I wanted to focus in more on more creative nonfiction. And it took me a while to get back into writing because also at that time, which I'm sure we'll talk about, I decided to do a career change. After 20 plus years in the private sector, I became a public librarian. And with that, just really exploded and opened up my own personal creativity. And I made the shift into creative nonfiction writing and nonfiction writing. And I'm currently a contributing writer for Little Village and also for Black Iowa News. So I find that right now my writing is drastically different than where it started. But I think that that's just the writer's journey. One of the things that I had to kind of, deconstruct in my mind was I wasn't just a writer of romance. Writing romance is absolutely important and essential. But I realized that I had other things that I wanted to talk about, namely wellness. I'm a certified Pilates instructor. I'm currently in yoga teacher training, and I have my own movement coach brand. So I'm a writer, I'm a librarian, and a trainer.
Busy
person. But the magic of the written word is almost always paramount for me, which is why being a librarian as well as a writer, it just really sums up who I am at my core.
cool. Because I wanted to also ask you how they influence each other, how your writing life kind of influences your life as a librarian, or how how being a librarian has influenced your writing, and what that relationship is. I know you've said like the written word is paramount for you, but of how those might interact, or do you think of them as, they're just different things? One is sort of functional, like you are doing the awesome public librarian job, and then you've got writing for yourself, which is much more, obviously there's a community of writers, right?
Sure.
But also a very individual act of writing and creating.
I think that there is definitely a connection. I mean, when I am in my role as a librarian, and I serve as public services librarian at North Liberty Library, when I am in that role, I am there to provide access to our patrons every day, to make sure they have access to books, especially in this current political climate. It is absolutely essential that we continue to provide access to education, entertainment, and everything in between when it comes to the written word for our patrons. As a writer, that impacts me because when we have books coming in and I'm reading books, absorbing books, and also recommending books to patrons, a lot of that writer expertise comes to me as well. And also, in addition, we've recently created a writers group at the North Liberty Library. One of my colleagues created this writing group and invited me to be a part of it. So I love my work because I get to not only provide access to the written word to our neighbors within our community, but I also get to come back into that writer community myself through the writing group that we've established at North Liberty Library. So I love that I get to kind of dip in both those worlds. In my 30s, when I first started writing, I didn't think any of that was possible. I was working in the private sector. I was working in a field that honestly I'd started to grow a little tired and weary of. I was fighting to be more of a creative. I wanted to let my creative juices flow. And here I am at 45. I'll be 46 next month. Yay.
Hey, happy birthday.
Thank you. And I'm finally in a position where I can be creative and I can be of service. And I just love both of those aspects of my life. And I say this to anyone who listens: don't be afraid to switch careers in your 40s. Don't be afraid to switch careers in your 50s. This decision to become a librarian was hands down the best professional decision I've ever made. And as I mentioned, it just gives me an opportunity to be creative, but also be of service. And for me, creativity and service go hand in hand.
I feel that in my own way in doing nonprofit work, and then also I do writing on that's my creative outlet, and just how much I'm thankful for both of those. Like I love being very community oriented and being very public about that, right? And you're out there, you're out front, you're interacting with the public, interacting with the community, but then also having that kind of other side as well.
It's important. I mean, they what do they call it now? They call them side quests.
Yes.
It used to be side hustle, but we're kind of leaving the hustle mentality behind us now. It's a side quest. For me, it's all the parts of who I am. Being a librarian is a big part of who I am. Being a writer is a big part of who I am. Being a beacon in my community as board vice president for City of Literature is a part of who I am. So I love how all these pieces just happen to commingle together in the same space.
Sure. Would you talk about City of Literature a little bit in terms of what's going on with them, or how did you get involved with them? Because again, you're tied into so many different aspects of writing in the writing world here in the Iowa City area.
Yes, so I started, I think I'm entering my 4th year on the board. My director, my current director at the library, Jenny Garner, was formerly on the board, and she was stepping off and asked if I wanted to be a part of the board. And, I had been on boards in the past. I was actually on the board of trustees for the Iowa City Public Library.
Yes, I did see that in your bio. Yep.
For almost 5 years. When I became a librarian myself, I found that I didn't have the space to commit to the big task of being on the board of trustees. I was also formerly on the board of trustees for Girls on the Run. So I've had executive board experience. With City of Literature, it's so vast in what we do. Some of the highlights of what I've done in my role is I emceed Slam-O-Vision, which is an annual poetry slam. I did that in 2022. And I also got to be a part of One Book, Two Book, just being a part of the community in a way that centers books, that centers literacy. That's what I love best about my work with City of Lit. And currently in my role as board vice president, I'm learning more and more about the organization. Giving a quick shout out to John Kenyon, who is an excellent leader, and he's taught me so much about executive board awareness, how to be a good board member. I've learned so much from him, as well as the rest of the board in our cohort. And we're just looking forward to everything that's going to be happening. We're already talking about the annual book fest, so many activities happening. So definitely stay tuned with what's going on with City of Literature. 2025 is going to be a big, big year for us.
All right, we've got can you hint at anything by chance?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I would say for sure check out the website to make sure. I wish I had prepared more about, having some events there. But yeah, we've got a lot going on. So definitely make sure you're following us on social media as well.
Awesome. And then also shout out to the way that you interact with us at Summer of the Arts and sort of moderating, emceeing the United Action for Youth kind of Art Out Loud, which is we do in conjunction with the Iowa Arts Festival, because I never get down there to see it, but I always know that since we've had that partnership with UAY, you are the voice. That
is, it honestly is one of the highlights of my summer every year to MC that event. I have two teenagers. I have a senior in high school and I have an 8th grader. And now more than ever, the voice of the youth is so essential. And I'm so grateful for UAY for everything that they do. They also work very closely with us at North Liberty Library. In fact, they've provided a lot of our staff training to teach us how to interact with the youth and teens that enter our library. So very thankful for UAY and their tireless work. This event every summer is so special to me because I actually took my daughter with me this past summer, because usually I was just going myself and emceeing and just taking it in all myself. But bringing my daughter with me to listen to the voice of the youth, I mean, I was definitely tuned in. She was absolutely tuned in, and I think it's an event that more people should come to. I hope to see more people there this year. If I'm asked to MC again, I would jump at the chance. It is just wonderful to hear from the youth. We need more opportunities for that.
Yes, I'm always very jealous of the folks who go down there and they're like, "Hey, it was so great." I'm like, I haven't made it down yet. I know. But also, you probably will be, but I can't say for sure.
Okay.
But yes, it seems like it's always a wonderful thing to have you there. So I don't see where that would change, but I can't say. Can't say. I wanted to ask you about what is the best thing about either public libraries in general or North Liberty Public Library, but what is your favorite thing about them?
My earliest memories, I'm originally from Chicago, born and raised. My earliest memories of libraries come from going to Carter G. Woodson Library on Chicago's South Side on 95th Street, for those who know it, and my grandmother taking me to the library every Saturday. Mm-hmm. And just having the access to books. I grew up in a home with books, but to have access to books, just free reign over books, was just exhilarating to me. And I still feel that way now in my 40s. I actually just stopped by Iowa City Library before I came here. And so I guess my favorite thing about public libraries is that it's a true third space. It is a true space where you can come as you are. It is a true space where there's no expectation to spend money. There's no expectation of an education level or a socioeconomic level. You come in and we are just so warm and welcoming. And I've had that experience with every Johnson. I think I've visited all 8 Johnson County libraries at this point, and I've had that experience at each and every one of them. I have to speak specifically about North Liberty Library because it is my library. I think what I love most about North Liberty Library is we are truly a family. We are a family space. We serve a growing community. I mean, when you think about, I lived in North Liberty with my husband right before our son was born, and he's 18 now, and North Liberty was probably 10,000 people. It has more than doubled at this point, and it continues to grow. And one thing that I can say about North Liberty Library is we truly are the beacon. We have a series that I created called Lighthouse in the Library. It's a quarterly series that we do where we invite community conversations. It was in part grant funded by the American Library Association. And I always say lighthouse because that's truly what North Liberty Library is in our community. North Liberty Library is the lighthouse of North Liberty. So it just brings me great joy to work there every day, to see the many faces who come in. We welcome immigrants. We welcome the LGBTQIA+ community. We welcome seniors. We welcome new families, small families, and everyone in between. We welcome business professionals. And that's just what I love most. It's just the community, the people who unabashedly support us. And that is a support that we are going to need over these next 4 years. And I think I speak for almost every public librarian that is what we need, is that community support. So for me, what I love most about North Liberty Library is that we serve as the beacon and lighthouse for our community.
That is super sexy and super spicy because public libraries are so good. They are so wonderful. So I'm just like,
yes.
Good stuff.
I just love it. And one of my favorite things, and of course we welcome everyone, one of the parts of my job is also inviting businesses in. I am an ambassador. This is my 3rd year of ambassadorship for Greater Iowa City, which was, So, and what I love about that is really when I walk into rooms to network representing the library and someone says, well, what do you do? I'm a real estate developer. What do you do? I'm in finance. What do you do? I'm a librarian. And I always get that double take. And I tell them, if you are a business owner, if you are a local business owner, if you are a creative, if you're a local creative, if you're a writer, if you're an artist, there is a place for you at the library. One of the many things that we offer at North Liberty Library for creatives, we have meeting rooms, study rooms. We even have an art gallery.
Ooh.
Yes, we do. I help curate the art gallery. We are already booked through the middle of 2026. Local artists are showcased. We have Jean Berry there right now, mother of Dr. Venice Berry. Yes.
Thank
who
you
is
for
also on
making that
board.
connection.
Yes. So, there's so many things that public libraries offer. And you know what? We may be in a moment right now that is very detrimental to our community as far as libraries are concerned. But this is also a moment for public libraries to shine. This is a moment for public libraries to showcase community. This is a time for public libraries to bring in your creatives, welcome writers, welcome artists, welcome your neighbors into this space, because they're going to need that comfort. They're going to need that connection. And there is no other place in your community where you're going to find the connection that your public library can provide.
No, I don't even know what to say after that. I feel like that is perfect. I would, if it's okay with you, I would love to end there because yes, public libraries are one of the most, honestly, secular spaces, but also to me one of the most sacred spaces. Like they are truly that third space where everyone is welcome. It is that wonderful. You have books, technology, movies, etc. at your fingertips, but you can also share in that with your fellow community members.
Support your local libraries and support your local writers and artists.
I want to get back to you as an author. Are you working on anything right now? Are you still kind of in that space where you're creative nonfiction? But do you have plans for more? What's going on with your writing life right now?
I do want to. On my list of things, I do. If you've heard of Gretchen Rubin, she wrote the Four Tendencies. She has a list that she puts out every year where you can fill out your 25 goals for 2025. Okay. And one of my 2025 goals is to write a short story or a novella. So I do want to get back into that fiction writing. So stay tuned for that.
right.
Right now, I'm doing, again, contributing writing to Little Village and Black Iowa News. If you look up Kellee Forkenbrock on either one of those websites, you will find what I've already published there.
Okay.
And you can also find me blogging on my website, which is thegoddessgrounded.com. Don't forget the. So it's thegoddessgrounded.com. As I mentioned, I am a certified Pilates instructor, and I will be a certified yoga instructor in April. So I do a lot of blogging there about wellness and health as well, because that wellness and creativity go hand in hand too.
Yes.
And so you can check out my blog there as well, and just check me out on Little Village and Black Iowa News, and I think I can get a novella out before the end of the year. Keep your fingers crossed for me.
No, this is totally, you're going to do it. You're going to do it. Thank you so much for coming in again. I know you don't have to take time out of your schedule to do this.
No,
so
this was my pleasure. Thank you so much for thinking of me. Thank you for inviting me, and thank you for giving me this platform to talk about creativity and libraries, two of my favorite things in the world.
But also, I just feel like really public librarians are grounded goddesses. So thank you. Public librarians.
Thank you.
You all are sexy.
Thank you.